What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we back with another video. Happy New Year's, everyone. Um, I'm gonna just say my goal because it's the first video. Actually, I'm recording after January 1st. I hope I get to at least 1,000, 2,000 subs by the end of the year. Maybe push for more. But in today's video, we're gonna be doing, since it's 2025, we're going to be ranking the top 10 players in the 2020s. Basically, we're 5 years in, which is crazy to believe. It was just 2020. I was just a kid going out fucking 8th grade. But at number 10, let's just get into it. I have Kevin Durant, and I know KD fans might be mad at this one, but hey, it's my opinion. Because KD has always been one of the best. Like, this era has a lot of talent and skills, so when I'm putting KD at 10, he could really be anywhere on this list. It's interchangeable for whoever wants to make a list. Like I said last time when I made the 2010s video, y'all can make your own list down below. I'll tell you my opinion on it. But in KD's first season in the 2020s, the 2020-2021 season, he averaged 27 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. And this was really his best chance to win, basically. He played some of his best basketball coming back from a torn Achilles and a quad. And this KD, he lost some athleticism, yes, but he was still as good defensively, and he was still Kevin Durant on the offensive end, going along with James Harden and Kyrie Irving, even though they barely played together. KD in that playoff series against the Bucks was crazy, and it's really wondering to think about. Like, you could wonder, KD could have a ring without Steph if his fucking big toe wasn't big as shit. Like, come on, bro. That Nets team was just good. It was just surrounded by talent. And imagine if Kyrie or Giannis never injured Kyrie. Kyrie was still out of that series, too, so they didn't have him. And James Harden was playing on one hamstring. Like, come on, bro. What can you expect? But in the 2021-2022 season, KD averaged 30 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. The stats were there, yes, but they got swept this season by the Celtics. And I can't believe KD only played 3 seasons in Brooklyn. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. But in the 2022-2023 season, his last season in Brooklyn, he averaged 29.5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists, basically. And the same season, 8 games in, he averaged 26 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He's been injured surprisingly a lot, but not really surprisingly, because he came off Achilles and quad, obviously, and he's older now, so the body is breaking down. But Kevin Durant is still KD, as we can see by the stats. They lost this season. I forgot who they lost to in the playoffs, but this is when it was him, Chris Paul, D-Book, and Ayton. Obviously, they broke up that team that last season. And he averaged 27 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and 5 assists with the trio of him, Bradley Beal, and D-Book. They lost to Anthony Edwards, and it's not too much to say about that. They got their ass handed to them. It was 4-1. Or I'm pretty sure they got swept. Like, Ant was just doing anything he wanted to that team, bro. But right now, KD is injured right now. No, he's not even injured. That's Booker. KD is averaging 27.5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists, leading the Suns right now, even though the Suns have just lost 2 games in a row without Booker. But once Booker comes back, maybe they'll get the full squad back and they'll return to how they was playing at the start of the season. But KD's accolades in the 2020s are he's a 3-time All-Star from 2021 to 2024. And he's All-NBA second-team selection in 2022 and 2024. Like I said, we're only 5 years in. But next, getting into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I have at number 9. And you could change him and KD if y'all want to. I'm just rating Shai off what he's done the last 3 seasons to continue to get better. And he might be at the top of this list when the 2020s is over. But in Shai's first season, 2019 and 2020, that season, his second season in the NBA, really, he averaged 19 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. I made a whole video about Shai. Y'all go check it out. This is when he was playing with Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, and those boys. They lost to the Houston Rockets in the bubble. It's not too much to say about that. In the 2021 season, he averaged 23.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 6 assists. This is when the Thunder were still bad. He got injured this season. He didn't really play, but he showed flashes of the player we are seeing today. And in the 2021-2022 season, he averaged 24.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. They're steady improving. The next season, he averaged his scoring numbers went way up. He averaged 31.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Thunder just missed the playoffs this season, and you could tell that they were on the rise, but nobody expected what was to follow. Basically, Jalen Williams had a good J-Dub. Actually, he had a great rookie season. Chet Holmgren's yet to suit up for that team, and when Chet eventually showed up and showed out, Shai averaged 30 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 6 assists. This being the season where he was basically a shooting guard, basically his whole career, but he still averaged 5.5 assists to go along with his stats, and they made the playoffs. They were the number 1 seed. Obviously, they went out in the second round. They lost to the Mavs, if I'm not mistaken, but Shai is just going to continue to get better, so I can't really rank them or how high. I'm ranking them for skill level, I would say. There's different criteria for me, basically. But Shai was an all-star in 2023 and 2024, and he's a back-to-back All-NBA first-team selection for the last couple seasons. But next, getting into Luka Doncic, and Luka has been phenomenal. You could rank Luka wherever you want. I guess I have Luka this high because he doesn't really have a ring or an MVP yet, but shit, Luka is at the top of the list when it comes to skill-wise. But in the 2019-2020 season, Luka's first All-Star appearance, he averaged basically 29 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, and 8.5 assists, or if you want to round it up to 9. And this is the season he was still playing with Porzingis. They were in the bubble. They almost beat the Clippers. They couldn't get it done, but hey, man, the 2020-2021 season, Luka averaged 27.5 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. And the downfall of Luka, the only negative you could say, he really hasn't really had playoff success at that time, even though it was still in his third season. But if you're averaging these stats, they're going to want to see you win games in the playoffs. But in the 2021-2022 season, he averaged 28.5 points per game, 9 rebounds, and basically 8.5 assists. And this was the season him and Jalen Brunson was a two-man army in the playoffs, and they looked good doing it. Luka missed some games in the Utah series, and Jalen Brunson stepped up, and we all know how good Jalen Brunson is now, and that was really the start of it. But Luka Doncic, bro, it's just fucking crazy how he doesn't have an MVP yet. He has been consistently one of the best players in the league. But in the 2022-2023 season, Luka took it up a notch even more. He averaged basically 32.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 8 assists, going alongside Kyrie Irving in the middle of the offseason. They didn't make the playoffs this season, but it prepped them for basically last season, which was Luka's highest run in the playoffs, basically. And he averaged 34 points per game, 9 rebounds, and basically 10 assists. And he could have been MVP this season, but they ended up giving it to Jokic. And Luka made the finals. Everybody critiquing them. Yes, the Celtics did blow them out 4-1, blah, blah, blah. And it was basically Luka's fault in the finals because he couldn't control his anger. They had a chance to win Game 2. They couldn't get it done, but Luka's going to have another chance there. We already know that. We all know how skilled Luka is. But in the 2024-2025 season now, Luka is hurt. He won't have a chance to make All-NBA team. Or he will make the All-Star team. Let's be serious. It's Luka. But he won't make the All-NBA team, which he made for the last 5 seasons. He averaged 28. Right now, he's averaging 28 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. And like Shai, Luka might be at the very top of this list when we're done. But like I was saying, Luka in this decade, he's a 5-time NBA All-Star from 2020 to 2024, 5-time All-NBA first team from 2020 to 2024, which is gonna come to an end because of this injury he has right now. And he was the scoring champion last year, and so Luka's gonna get a lot better. But stay tuned. Part 2 out tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If y'all want to see some more, there's a video on the left and the video on the right. Click on them.